Hello, I'm Jason Schoming. Welcome to my Capstone presentation on my company, Work Partners. Founded in 1997, Work Partners is a subdivision of UPMC's Insurance Service Division. Headquartered in Pittsburgh, focuses on workforce management and return to work solutions for employers. There are four main product groupings of Work Partners. It's Absence, which is Family Medical Leave Act Administration and Disability Claims Administration for things like maternity leave, knee surgeries, and other leaves of absence. Workers' comp is a fully insured product protecting employees injured on the job. Advocacy services are made up of wellness, which includes health coaching, employee engagement platforms, and incentive tracking, and also EAP, which provides behavioral health counseling, as well as work-life services that connect you to things like financial planners and making funeral arrangements. Finally, WorkPartners is an analytics product that houses employee data and uses predictive modeling to help employers understand costs associated with medical, pharmacy, and lost productivity. And I'll take you through an external analysis of Work Partners markets. Across all products, the addressable revenue is about $120 billion, with workers' comp making up about half of it. Work Partners competes across all markets, drawing in competitors in each product, some of which are listed on the left. However, the differentiator for Work Partners is to combine the entire suite of products and provide a comprehensive view of workforce management. Looking at a pestle analysis, the highest impact factors are noted with the green arrows on the right. Economic impacts include wage index, which not only dictates what we pay our own employees, but also the cost of covering lost time claims for workers' comp. Interest rates have a major impact on investment income that Work Partners earns. From a sociocultural standpoint, remote work has spread employees across the U.S. This requires Work Partners to have expertise in state-specific regulations to meet client needs. Finally, legal impacts include state statutes on things like paid family medical leave, which is a state-sponsored program that requires Work Partners to engage with governments on behalf of employers. Also, workers' comp is governed by state regulators who have the ability to cut rates, which impacts Work Partners' revenue. Next, we'll take a look at Porter's 5 forces analysis. The threat of entry is very low, especially in workers' comp, due to the millions of dollars of capital surplus required by state regulators to even become licensed. This does not include personnel, expertise, and infrastructure needed to administer the product. The power of suppliers is extremely high. State regulators have the prerogative to adjust workers' comp rates and change statutes, while vendors have negotiating power due to high switching costs. The power of buyers is also high. Work Partners is in client service. Clients are price sensitive and they demand value for their money. This keeps service costs high and prices low. Threat of substitutes has a medium impact as competitor volume is high, but it's mitigated somewhat by high switching costs. This culminates in a medium level rivalry among competitors. Work Partners insulates itself from this rivalry through its product differentiation. There is profit to be had in these markets, and we'll examine that in the financial analysis. Okay, next we're going to take a look at an internal analysis of Work Partners. Work Partners' mission is referred to as people activation. This means managing workforce health through claims administration and employee engagement, while also using data-driven analysis to provide actionable insights to employers. Work Partners also has a robust set of company values that are deeply ingrained in the culture through leadership buy-in. These values also represent a significant portion of employee annual performance reviews, which reinforces the relationship to business strategy. Moving on to that business strategy, Work Partners focuses on differentiation strategy through product diversification. Workers' comp produces the lion's share of revenue and profits, while analytics is the value production tool that ties the strategy together. Work Partners notes on its website that integrating data across products allows the company to calculate an ROI and for work partners to provide value. Work Partners plans to scale its products to take advantage of available revenue, focusing particularly on workers' comp and analytics. The growth methodologies are evolving from a scattershot approach that is really labor intensive to a more broker driven strategy that casts a wide net to bring interested parties to Work Partners. Next, a financial analysis of the past 5 years reveals modest revenue growth from 153 million to 162 million. The middle years are heavily impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, which limited sales opportunities and saw state regulators enforce double-digit rate cuts for workers' comp. The reason for these rate cuts is shown on the flat growth of the claims expense. As workers stayed at home, injury frequency dropped, resulting in fewer claims. Administrative expenses have largely kept pace with wage growth, showing good cost containment. This all culminates in a very strong contribution margin of approximately 7%, or about $12 million annually. Work Partners does receive a corporate overhead load that increased by about 80% between 2021 and 2022 due to a change in allocation methodology. This is a strategic issue Work Partners has to consider. While overhead has negatively impacted operating margin, investment returns have been very strong. Investment income is a strategic benefit to having a workers' comp product, as regulations allow insurers to use the premiums they hold covering their claim liability to invest in the market and produce income. Work Partners also received an A- excellent rating for financial strength from the external rating agency AM Best. This highlights Work Partners' strong balance sheet and the financial performance. Finally, the SBU product line specific contribution margins in the bottom right show workers' comp leading the way with 26%, while advocacy has lost about 6% each year over the last 5 years. That's another issue that Work Partners should consider in the future. Next, we move to a SWOT analysis. Starting with strengths, Work Partners' diverse group of products prevents the company from being impacted too heavily by trends in any one market. Also, Work Partners has a seasoned group of leaders with extensive experience in their fields. Finally, Work Partners can leverage UPMC's name recognition in local markets to drive business. Also, the relationship with UPMC provides access to capital funding for workers' comp expansion. Work Partners' weaknesses include scalability speed. While the access to capital is a strength, those resources are not always available on Work Partners' preferred timeline. Also, Work Partners receives a burdensome overhead load that requires strategic intervention to reduce. Finally, Work Partners' contracts typically run on a 3-year cycle, limiting annual obtainable revenue. However, significant opportunities exist for Work Partners, particularly in workers' comp expansion. The fastest way to do this would be to acquire a defunct property and casualty company that owns licenses in multiple states. Analytics can also be expanded through strategic partnerships with consulting firms that can introduce Work Partners to like-minded companies looking for an analytics type service. There's also an opportunity for Work Partners to offer a fully insured disability product to complement its claims administration. Finally, Work Partners faces regulatory threats from state agency rate cuts. In addition, a failure to provide value could impact client retention, thus reducing revenue. Finally, Work Partners has access to a lot of sensitive member data, which opens it up to a threat of cyber attacks. Work Partners is organized in a multifunctional structure with these strategic business units or the product lines at the bottom, drawing support services from centralized Work Partners. This chart shows that Work Partners is itself an SBU of the Insurance Services Division, which is further an SBU of corporate UPMC. The strength in this structure is the P&L visibility that allows for strategic decisions to be made in one SBU that don't necessarily impact the other SBUs. Some drawbacks include fighting for shared resources and the slow pace of change resulting from the bureaucracy within a large organization. Next, I want to discuss the leadership styles of two leaders within Work Partners and their impact on the organization. First is CEO and founder Dave Weir. Dave is a visionary leader. The idea to integrate workforce management products started with him, and he has been leading the company since its inception. Dave is a great communicator who inspires the team to see the big picture and drive toward the vision. With all this focus on the big picture, Dave needs help managing the details. This is where COO Andy Yoes comes in. Andy is a pace setter. He excels at addressing issues and achieving goals quickly. Andy's role is really to operationalize Dave's vision and make it a reality. Work Partners needs to rely on the complementary strengths of these two exceptional leaders to navigate the company's way to a sustained competitive advantage. Okay. The prior analysis points out a few strategic issues facing Work Partners. I'll now move into some recommendations. First, Work Partners should discontinue the advocacy line of business. The financial results show poor performance, difficulty growing the product. In addition, advocacy's focus on clinical interventions is a bit disconnected with the rest of the product portfolio. Next, the company should continue pursuing consulting relationships to grow the analytics product. This is Work Partners' key differentiator and provides revenue growth opportunities for all products. Third, Work Partners needs to rapidly expand the workers' compensation product. Net income returns are extremely high in this product, and growing the premium base will lead to even larger investment returns. Again, the fastest way to do this is to purchase a property and casualty shell company that holds multiple state licenses rather than growing organically state by state. Finally, Work Partners should hire dedicated legal staff. This will reduce the reliance on corporate shared services, which will accelerate response time and reduce overhead burden. In closing, I hope you have enjoyed this strategic review of Work Partners, and I thank you for your time.